Hi, welcome to Warrior Commission Now. I'm Christine Caston, and this is Linda Smallbones, and we are going to talk about practical ways to live out your commission with God. But the way we're doing that is just through what Linda is experiencing with the Lord right now and kind of her journey and story. She's been with the Warrior Commission since August of 2015. She remembered the month that she even joined. And so just wanted to capture what God has bubbling up in your heart, Linda. So I just asked that question, and she started just sharing a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, we just need to record it. So we pushed record, and this is kind of a little bit faster than probably she was thinking. But Linda, why don't you just share what's on your heart, what God has kind of bubbling up in your spirit right now, that is how He's inspiring you in this time and season.
Thanks, Christine. And I always think this question about speaking about your passions is like, well, how long do you have, But I'm really, really passionate about people's emotional health and well-being. And I feel like from our spiritual maturity, we can't have full spiritual maturity without emotional health and well-being.
That's true.
And even for pre-Christians, I'm really, really passionate about people's emotional health, because to know that you're loved and to experience love and even well-being is to have like an experience of the heart of the Father, the Father heart of God. That is where love comes from. That is where well-being comes from. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm a social worker. That's my professional background. And so I work into the area of emotional health. Mm-hmm. And God has just been, especially over the last 7 years in the Warrior Commission, God's really just been showing me and highlighting to me where I'm working and who I am in that space. Mm-hmm. And one of the key things that He's told me about myself is that I carry His heart into
that's
situations.
An identity statement for you, right?
Yeah.
That an identity statement.
Yeah. So to represent that in different ways to people. So, and it's not academic, and it's not a theory. It's something that we get to live out, which is really, really exciting. So
it's good. Yeah. That's good. And so you are living this out in like a lot of different ways, like that, the whole thing about an identity statement is it's who you are, no matter where you are, right? It's who God has created you to be. And so this identity statement, I think you said, I am His heart, I think was the identity statement that you shared. And so share with me a little bit, and with whoever is invited to our table right now, which is everybody who would like to join us, is the idea of how do you express that? What does it look like? What does it mean to you to be His heart? And then two, how do you live that out on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. So that is a really good question. What does His heart look like? And I think for me, it's about representing His warmth and His welcome. Like everybody is welcome, everybody is accepted. And so to be able to show that in my interactions with people on a daily basis. And His heart is His nature, the fruit of the Spirit. And so the more we dive into the fruit of the Spirit and into His nature, we get to represent that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, I guess I'm kind of saying it's a state of being and living in Him. And it's often choosing patience, choosing gentleness.
Yes, it is a choice.
Very.
Yeah.
Because while I work with people, I have a play therapy practice, and while I work with people on that kind of circumstance, and I love people, you still get to meet the people who stretch your patience, who stretch your ability to be gentle. And so, God's really been growing that in me. I hope that answers the question about what it looks like.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think, I know in the Warrior Commission, one of the things that you were exploring, that you really took us into a new space, if you will, of how to be how to help people feel welcome and warm was
Mhm.
through Connections Ambassadors,
Yeah.
and what you established in that and how you carried that forward based on what the desire of your heart was. It started with just doing a call, where you wanted to connect with
Yeah.
people. I'm trying to remember what you called it. Was it something about coffee
Yeah.
or mug or something? Do you remember?
It was like, bring your mug.
Bring your mug,
Bring
yeah,
your mug
something like
call.
that. And it
Yeah.
was just the idea of let's connect and let's talk and let's share heart to heart.
Yeah.
But what it evolved into was actually a way to reach, because we're an online community, so we don't see each
Mhm.
other face to face. But it evolved into this beautiful Connections Ambassadors, and it involved with
Yeah.
you and others who step into it and get trained, if you will, in how to
Yeah.
really connect and pour into the hearts of others. And it's
Mhm.
such a beautiful expression, I think, of who you are and what you just naturally gravitate into because of your
Yeah.
identity, because of how you live it out.
Yeah. And I think that so you're pinpointing something there, Christine, this is about forging a relationship with people that is beyond just being nice. So although I said warmth and welcome, to me there's a real depth in that, because it's about forging relationship. Like, you are worth getting to know. You are worth exploring a bit of life with, and that's what God says to us. He said, I chose you. Like, I chose you. And we think we chose him, but he chose us. So yes, we get to say yes to him, but he chose us first. And so we get to give that message to people in different ways as we walk in relationship with him. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, and I love that, because so much of how things seem to be shifting in the way God's moving now have to do with really more of that deeper heart to heart, not surface heart to heart, not that, oh, hey, nice to see you, good to, hey, it's been great chatting with you, but I'm done with that and see you later, kind of thing. It's really almost like the deep dive into a heart connection. But to bring it back to what you talked about, without emotional health, it's really hard for people to feel comfortable and safe being vulnerable, or to to want to self-protect. A lot of times happens as well. So do you have any any advice for people in emotional health in ways to step into a greater depth of health and relationship, so they can have a deeper relationship with others and with God?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the first keys is to be aware of this journey that you've been through in life. And some people have had not great journeys. They from very little, that they maybe have not had everything that they've needed, and they've been hurt, or they've been betrayed, or along the way. And so I think we each need to be quite aware of where we've come from, and to, excuse me, we need to be aware of where we've come from, and to be really intentional. I think intentionality is such a key word for me in emotional health, because if I want something to change, I really have to be intentional to recognize what it is I want to change, what it is I don't like about myself that I want, hey, this needs change, and then to move towards that. And we get to do it with God. So I think, to be aware and to be intentional, and to be aware of where the hurts are. So people may have hurt us terribly, really terribly. We may be even living in traumatic states, but to be aware that actually connection with other people is the way to heal. It is the pathway to healing. And so to find the people that you feel safe with, to reconnect with again, to start healing those past memories. So I think that sometimes you need to seek professional help, and that's quite important. But also to find a community, no matter how small, even if a couple of friends that can walk alongside you through this. Because what trauma does is it disconnects people, and it disconnects you from yourself as well, and from God. And so find ways of connection back to that place of the road to healing.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So we may have some more conversations coming up, I think, but as far as what you've shared here, I appreciate the inspiration that you've provided for those who are listening to this, and just how I Am His Heart has actually been a huge part, knowing that identity has been a huge part of how you live your life and how you love greatly, and how you tap into the compassion that you have for others to see a new place of emotional healing and health. So Linda, thank you so much for joining this call and our chat. I enjoyed it, and we will we'll hopefully get to do this soon.
Thanks. Thanks, Christine.